So for fashion brand founders, this is how we scale fashion brands to 100K plus per month online in 1 to 4 months with Meta ads. This is only for you if your fashion brand makes around 35K per month online or more, and you want to scale to 100K plus per month online. Here are some before and after results for this fashion brand that we're working with. So now, these are the 3 months of sales they were doing before working with us. First month, they're doing 30.6K from February 16 to March 18, 2023. Next month, they're doing 35.7K. Next month, they're doing around 59K. Now, 3 months after working with us, within the first month, we hit over 100K in 1 month. You can see from May 17 to June 16, 2023, starting from May 17th, right? So this first one, already over 100K. Now, next month, because of the slow season in fashion, we scaled down a bit. So they were at 64.9K. But right afterwards, bounced right back up to 99K, which is around 100K as well. But the point is, we got them over 100K in just 1 month. Now, again, for this fashion brand, it took us 1 month to help us scale to 100K plus per month. The average time it takes us to scale a fashion brand to 100K plus per month is 1 to 4 months. And also more context on this brand. Their average order value is over $200. They're not low price products and it's not fast fashion. You can see 2023, the whole year, their average order value was $474. And the main market is the US. Now, we scale over 15 fashion brands. You can see some of the fashion brands we scale over here. And we have over 10 fashion brand founder testimonials from founders like yourself. You can see all of it below this video. So I won't go in depth in this specific video. By the way, I'm Brandon, one of the co-founders of Digiceptual. We specialize in scaling fashion brands online for over 4 years. Now below, I will now break down the exact Meta ad strategy we use to scale this fashion brand and other fashion brands to 100K plus per month online. This is what I will cover. Why do we spend on average 96% of ad spend getting new customers and only 4% on remarketing? How we structure campaigns to get new customers, how we set up the right audience settings, the highest converting ad copy for this brand and how we write converting fashion ad copy, one of the highest converting creatives for this brand and what creatives convert best for fashion, where we drive traffic to that converts the most and how we scale profitably. So strap yourselves in. Now, why do we spend on average 96% of ad spend getting new customers and only 4% on remarketing? You see, most fashion brands, this brand included, already are remarketing to their existing customers with channels like email. So the real value of ads is in getting new customers on top of funnel, not remarketing, which is middle and bottom of funnel. So to quickly clarify funnel terms, if you're not familiar with it, a funnel is a marketing term used to describe the journey potential customers go through from prospecting to purchase. There are 3 main parts of a funnel: top of funnel, TOF, which is also known as prospecting. This is where you convert strangers into customers. Middle and bottom of funnel, MOF and BOF, which are both known as remarketing and retargeting to existing customers. So to quickly clarify those definitions. So it makes no sense to spend a lot on remarketing because it will, 1, mess up attribution because the ads will claim most or all the sales, when in reality they don't. 2, cannibalize sales from their back-end marketing efforts. 3, not drive actual growth to the business. You see, the problem with how most fashion brands allocate their ad spend is they or their agency spends 40% or more of the ad spend on MOF and BOF, which means they're spending way too much on remarketing. This leads to plateauing and stagnating because there's only so many times their existing customers will buy each month. So at a certain point, it will cap out and customers will just be spammed with remarketing ads. Side note, if your agency is spending 40% and more on middle and bottom of funnel, they're just leeching off the hard work you already have done, which is getting the customers in the first place. And this can confuse you because ROAS looks high, but you don't know why you aren't growing as much as you want to. The truth is, the ROAS is inflated and the ads aren't driving actual growth to your business. Since getting new customers is what we're focused on, we spend on average 96% of the ad spend on top of funnel, not middle and bottom of the funnel. Right? Almost all ad spend is concentrated on top of funnel because that is the biggest market for any fashion brand, known as the cold market, strangers who have never heard of the brand before. You see, there are 3 segments of the cold market. Segment 1, people who want what the brand's selling and actively seek that type of brand. Segment 2, people who want what the brand's selling but aren't actively seeking that type of brand. And segment 3, people who have yet to decide they want what the brand's selling and aren't seeking that type of brand. You see, if we spend 40% or more on MOF and BOF, we can only capture segment 1 and parts of segment 2 because 60% or less of the ad spend is on TOF. That is how plateaus happen and how growth slows down because we can't fully capture segment 2 and scale in segment 3. The real growth happens by fully capturing segment 2 and scaling in segment 3. Here's why. Each segment higher means the audience gets colder, which means less trust and less desire to buy. Segment 1 is easy to capture because they want what the brand is selling and they want to buy from that type of brand. They just need to know the brand exists and they will buy. This makes them the smallest segment. Segment 2 is bigger because they want what the brand is selling, but they aren't looking to buy from that type of brand yet. They need more convincing than segment 1. Segment 3 is the biggest because they haven't decided they want what the brand is selling yet and aren't even looking to buy from that type of brand. This makes them the most skeptical and least trustful. However, this makes segment 3 the biggest growth opportunity because if we are able to get segment 3 to buy, our growth is nearly uncapped. So to fully capture segment 2 and scale in segment 3, we spend 96% of the ad spend on top of funnel. 4% of the ad spend on middle and bottom funnel is just enough to remarket without ruining attribution and burning money. Once we fully capture segment 2 and scale in segment 3, the brand will never plateau and never struggle with getting new customers consistently. And because the amount of new customers we get is near unlimited in segment 3, that is how we drive real growth to fashion brands and for this fashion brand as well. Now, how do we structure campaigns to get new customers? Because we focus on getting new customers, we structure campaigns to be focused on top of funnel, right? Every campaign is a 7-day click, 1-day view. Now, to go over it, TOF viral testing over here. This is where we test 24/7 what creatives convert new customers and why. Every single week, we review with the brand what converts and what doesn't. This way, the brand knows what to focus on in their creative direction to convert more customers. Over time, the brand will have a winning formula for creatives, meaning any new creatives they make are near guaranteed to convert because it contains what we tested that's proven to convert. No more wasted money on guessing. Next, budget settings are ABO only for any testing campaigns. This is how we have the most control on testing to get accurate results. Next, TOF scaling. This is where we mainly scale ads that we tested properly in the TOF viral testing campaign. Budget settings here are CBO. More on the how we scale later. Now, Advantage Plus campaigns. As of this time, this is one of Facebook's newest campaign settings. We use this to scale profitable ads on these campaigns, but we don't rely on them because it's a black box. Because Facebook has the most control and no one knows exactly how it works except them. This is why we use ASC alongside our core TOF scaling campaigns. Because if for some reason ASC changes on Facebook, or Facebook decides to take it away, we are safe because we have our own scaling campaigns where we know exactly what is going on. When we use ASC campaigns, we exclude all existing customers from the campaign so it only goes after new customers. ASC without exclusion makes it a glorified retargeting campaign, which means it's a waste of money. And I'll cover customer exclusion in more detail in the ad set settings section. We deselect these test new optimizations under the Advantage Plus creative option to also have more control over what the ASC campaign will focus on. Now, MOF and BOF, these are just used to re-engage people who interacted with the brand's social media and existing customers. Again, this is the least focused part. Now, how we set up the right audience settings. Locations. We focus on the locations that are the main markets and exclude everything else. This is to prevent Facebook from overspending in places it thinks has potential. For example, their main market is the US, so we only advertise in the US. Audiences. We don't do any custom look audiences or lookalike audiences at all because they cap out at a certain point in scale since it's segmented, which leads to slow growth because we would have to constantly refresh audiences as we scale. So why not avoid that problem completely? We are focused on capturing all 3 segments of the cold market, so we use broad audiences or interest audiences. This also completely eliminates audience fatigue and allows us to focus on what matters most, the ads itself. So, broad audiences. To clarify, broad audiences mean no custom audiences, no interest audiences, ages 18 to 65 plus. Gender is women because this fashion brand is a women's fashion brand. Now, interest audiences. When we use interest audiences, we keep everything else the same like broad audiences and only have one interest audience per ad set. One of the interest audiences that brought in new customers profitably for this fashion brand was YSL. Like, we only have one. If you zoom in here, I'll zoom in more. You can see with this YSL, we spent, let me see, about 1.3K. We got a 4.73 ROAS on this interest audience, and we got a 6.2K return just from this one, right? As you see there. Now, the highest converting ad copy for this brand and how we write converting fashion ad copy. So this is the highest converting ad copy for this brand. It's elevate your look with the little star emoji, discover our new arrivals. It's simple and to the point, which ties into how we write converting fashion ad copy. The framework is 1 to 2 lines that communicates the brand message and what they offer. We use little to no emojis. If we do, we keep it 1 to 2 max, like this brand. We only have 1 emoji for this one. We rarely use hashtags. 99% of the time, we don't use hashtags. Anything with a lot of emojis and hashtags gives a cheap, fast fashion vibe. Quality products don't need long copy or hype to sell it. Once we have tested and gotten the ad copy that converts new customers, we apply it across all the ads going forward. To this day, it's still the same ad copy, except for exceptions are specific events or launches, right? The reason we do this is we focus on what really makes the difference in fashion ads, the creatives. Now, that goes into this section. One of the highest converting creatives for this brand and what creatives convert best for fashion. Here is one of the highest converting creatives for this specific fashion brand. Okay, it's a bit cut off at the top, but you can see here. I'll play it real quick right here. Boom, boom, just like that. Right? So it's basically a compilation of some of their best sellers in one. There's nothing fancy about it. It's simple and direct, which leads to what creatives convert best for fashion. The creatives that converts best for fashion are what we call raw creatives. Raw creatives have minimum to no editing, clearly shows the product, are simple and direct, like this. Very minimal, clearly shows the product, is very simple and direct. They aren't overly edited, it's not commercial-like, and it's not fancy and expensive, as you see here. Raw creatives can be broken down into 3 types. Product only, product on the model doesn't have to be famous, product on a model in a specific lifestyle setting. For this ad, it was just product on a model. And in ads, we run them as still images or GIFs/video. Obviously, this one is GIF/video. Still images and GIF/video of raw creatives work best in fashion. The reason why they convert best in fashion is because they are organic and relatable to audiences. Audiences want authenticity, which is why there's absolutely no need to spend a bunch of money doing expensive fashion campaigns and shoots to get creatives for ads. It just looks good, but doesn't convert well. Raw creatives always outperform fancy creatives. Next, where we drive traffic that converts the most. You see, we drive almost all traffic to the homepage or the best sellers page. These 2 pages are the highest converting pages in fashion. Now, this is the page data in the past 3 months before we came in for this fashion brand. Obviously, I blur out specific product names. You can see here. The top page for them was the homepage, and the rest was just like some products, collections, product pages, right? We can see the homepage is already one of the highest converting pages for them. Now, this is what happened when we implemented a bestseller page in the first 3 months of working with them. You see here, it's right under the homepage. The bestseller page outperforms everything else except the homepage at this point, right? Now, why do we make a bestseller page? You see, in any fashion brand, a small percentage of products bring in the most amount of sales. This is also known as the 80-20 principle. 20% of something always brings in 80% of the results. We identify what are the best sellers by going to Shopify Analytics and looking at top products by units sold. The sales difference between the best sellers and the rest of the products is night and day because they have demand in the market. Meaning new traffic buys these products the most as their first purchase. So what we simply do is double down on the demand to scale. We see what works and we just do more of what works. We can't force people to buy something they don't want, so it makes no sense selling products that have little to no demand. You see, a trick we also do with the bestseller pages, from the visitor's perspective, any product in the bestseller page must mean it's a bestseller, right? Which means from our perspective, we can position products on the bestseller page that the brand wants to sell more of, clear stock, etc., and it will sell more as a result. Next section, how do we scale profitably? Very straightforward. We typically increase ad spend by 20% a day as long as it's profitable. Now, below are 3 other proven tactics we use to scale more aggressively when we see opportunities in the market. Vertical scaling. We increase the budget of winning campaigns by 30% every 48 hours. It has to be 48 hours to make sure ROAS is stable and profitable. If it is, we increase again by 30%. We keep repeating this as long as ROAS stays stable and profitable after every 48 hours. Quick-fire scale. We increase budget by 20%, wait 2 minutes, then increase again by 20% if the learning phase didn't reset. right? Then we just keep increasing it by 20%, right? We keep repeating this as long as learning phase does not reset. Duplicate and raise. We duplicate profitable ad sets into a new TOF scaling campaign and raise the budget by 30 to 40%. Bottom line is, as long as it's profitable, we keep scaling it up. And so in summary, we spend on average 96% of ad spend on getting new customers and only 4% on remarketing, because real growth from ads comes from getting new customers. We have 3 TOF campaigns: Advantage Plus, scaling, and viral testing. Rest is MOF and BOF. ASC, we exclude existing customers and deselect test new optimizations. TOF scaling, we just use CBO. Viral testing, we use ABO. Audience settings. We focus on the main markets only. We don't use custom audiences or lookalike audiences, only broad and interest audiences. Converting fashion ad copy is simple and direct. Little to no emojis and hashtags. Once we have a winning angle, we apply to all ads going forward except for specific launches and events. Raw creatives are the highest converting creatives for fashion. Simple, little to no editing, clearly shows the product. The 3 types are product only, product on a model, doesn't have to be famous, product on a model in a specific lifestyle setting. We drive most of the traffic to the homepage and bestseller page because they convert new customers the best. We scale profit by increasing spend by 20% a day and using the 3 other tactics: vertical scaling, quickfire scale, duplicate, and raise. That is how we scale this fashion brand and other fashion brands to 100K plus per month in 1 to 4 months with Meta ads. Again, 1 month before and then 1 month after working with us. Now you can take our strategy and try to scale your fashion brand to 100K plus per month online, or work with us to get there in half the time without making all the mistakes there. If you're interested in working with us, book a time with me by clicking the book a call button below this video. Again, this is only for you if your fashion brand does 35K per month online or more. You'll speak to me personally, not some random salesperson, so I can understand your brand more and see if it's a right fit. We are very transparent and no BS. Here's how we work if it's the right fit. It's free to start. You don't pay us anything up front. You only pay us at the end of the 30 days if the ads are profitable. And we calculate profitability before we start, so we were both on the same page. It's also month to month. There are no locked or minimum contracts. There's no catch. This is all written in an agreement. The reason why we do this is because you can only make an informed decision once you start, which is why we make it free to start. So to put it simply, it's free to start. You only pay if you're profitable at the end of the 30 days. It's month to month. Now, because we work upfront and no charge, we can only take on a limit of 5 fashion brands per month. So if scaling to 100K plus per month online is a priority for you right now, book a call with me by clicking the book a call button below this video, and I look forward to connecting.